Hi all. Well, I'm still here with Red Storm, Double Defection, Scenario 4, Iron Eagle. This is my part 5. Only a day or so went past, and yeah, I've come home this evening and got a bit of time. I've still not really got things organised about another game to play. The one I've got set on the table, I'm not quite keyed up on the rules yet, and I need a bit of counter clipping as well. I like my counters clipped, so yeah, I didn't feel like doing any of that. So, and of course, I have had some comments regarding part 4, as I knew I would, to try and help me through this process that we're kind of struggling with. Yeah, it is helpful, but I feel that there's still a few bits. Also want to say that Howard and John are saying something slightly different to each other in part of it, but that might just be me, maybe just me. But I was just about to hit record, and then I thought, well, I just wanted to look back on something on my scenario 2, and what it was it was regarding the SA11 that was in there, and we had the warm marker on top with everything switched on, and he was able to we actually acquired a flight that way, which sort of tells me that I should be able to try and acquire this flight here, because that's in the same kind of state. However, is it? Now, I think this is where things get muddled up, and it's because it's solo and they're trying to create a fog of war within this that, I think I've maybe been over this before and how I think about it, but well, let's just go through how the comments that I've got back, and I'll go over them and see if I'm understanding what's being said here, because there's still a little bit left in here that I'm not quite sure of. So we'll see. Okay, so I think Howard commented first, and then John, and then there was a bit afterwards by Howard. So John must have seen Howard's comment. I just feel like they're both saying something slightly different regarding locating the SAMs, but we'll see. Okay, so Howard says, I suppose my question was, do I need to activate the SAMs first, or can I attempt to locate them first? Or how, what needs to happen first? Well, Howard said yes, activate first. He says the radar warning markers are just fog of war. So he's saying these are just fog of war, and I guess these as well. We understand that what it's trying to create is 2 of these are actual SAMs. Well, 2 of these are actual SAMs and one's a dummy, and 2 of these are actual SAMs, one's a dummy. I'm pretty sure that's what it's trying to achieve. So he says, imagine you don't know where anything is. It's all hidden. The activation rule is basically another player either firing an infrared SAM, so once we get within 2 hexes, he's going to fire this. And like it's already been mentioned, although maybe it's when John talks about this, if you were playing as a 2-player game, these wouldn't even be on the map. These would be hidden. As for these, that might be the same case. No, you know what? I think although these are shown on, right? Although these are shown on, and this is what... Why can't we have them shown off? Is that because it would match up with these, maybe? Okay, let me move on. He says the activation rule is basically another player either firing an infrared SAM or turning on a radar to acquire you. So, firing an infrared SAM, which is one of these 3. If I came within 2, we rolled for activation. This is an infrared SAM. Yeah, and it would automatically fire at me, wouldn't it, if it was in range? Yeah, okay, it would then. I was thinking, well, it'll not fire right away there, but Yeah, it would actually. He says, in a two-player game, it's all down to deception. You don't want to turn a radar SAM on until you feel the odds are within you in terms of the range / alt modifiers, because as soon as you turn it on, it's probably going to get shot at by a SEAD flight. Okay, I'll just pause there a minute. So, is that him now saying that these radars aren't on then? And it's only when I activate them. And again, why are they not turned to the off side then? And again, is it because they get mixed up with these and it's to separate them from them? But that sounds kind of confusing. Okay. I can probably muddle my way through all this anyway, but I'm still sort of wondering about, you can see what I'm saying there. He says you would only fire them at either one or two hexes. Sorry, I missed a bit there. Infrared SAMs are purely ambush units. You would only fire them at either one or two hexes. So right up till that point, you won't see them. They will typically be around the front line or at an objective. So that's why we're not going to get to see them until we're two hexes away. So I think I need to move within two hexes, and then we're just going to see what's what. Now, what I did think was, we know again, and this is information that maybe you shouldn't really know. We know these are SC-13s. Two of them are, one of them is a dummy. And at high altitude, they can't fire at us. So it kind of says that we move our F-16s in because it's them that are going sort of scouting these SAMs out. And we move into that hex, two hexes away at high altitude, then we've not got any issues there. Now, whether that's sneaking by something that you normally wouldn't know, because if I was playing a two-player game, these wouldn't be, well, I suppose you wouldn't even know where these were, would you? So but I realise that there's only so much you can do solo-wise, and when it comes to Fog of War, you're kind of limited to how much you can get away with that. So anyway, it carries on, they will typically be around, that was it. So that was his first comment there. I'll just read John's after that, because no, hang on. What about? Yeah, so Howard didn't mention anything about locating there, but he did start his comment off by, yes, activate first, kind of telling me that we can't do anything until we've activated these. I need to get within the 8 hexes of that to activate it, and then be able to locate it. Now, the flights that I'm involved in need to be within 8 hexes anyway to be in range to attempt to locate anyway. But we do have that one, the EF111 Raven, which has a 12 hex range. And I suppose my question would be, if it was within range of 12 hexes there, do you still need to wait and activate that before I locate it? And I'm just popping that in there now, because just before I read John's comments, because he kind of gives me the impression that, well, I'll read it. He's got these time stamped as well, but I think we know kind of what we're talking about. So he says, by the letter of the rules, you can locate any SAM with a SAM warning marker. However, I feel like Solo needs a finer point put on SAM location. So he's saying there that you can locate any SAM with a SAM warning marker. But let's see what he says after that. He says, note, the standard Solo rules give 3 times the SAM could activate. During the pre-scenario ISR phase, Solo has its own ISR table in Play Red Card 5. But this is not applicable for DBD 4. Okay. 2. If a player flight moves within the activation range, which is either 2 or 8 hexes in this scenario, right? And the third one is a player flight successfully locates the SAM during the SAM location phase. So he carries on. He says, my take is that for solo, you can only locate a SAM with a SAM worn marker and radar on. Which allows these three. These are SAM worn markers with their radars on. So after us saying there that, yeah, I'm not going to go into that. I mean, why would they be showing on? They must be on. Anyway, it says the others are hidden, which you cannot locate in the two-player game, so why allow it here? So it means that these are hidden. We don't know where these are. Okay? Granted, I had not come to this epiphany until recently, so I probably rolled for SAM location for all the SAM war markers on my posted playthrough of DBD4. Okay, so what is in there that is we can locate these three, I think, but we can't locate these because they're hidden. So, however, I got the impression from what Howard was saying that these need to be activated before we can try and locate. Now, it's more than likely that we're going to have to wait on the 8 hex range anyway, which will be fine. But I'm just putting that there as Howard saying that, John, are you saying that they wouldn't need to necessarily be activated before I could locate? And if I had my Raven within 12 hexes of one of these, that I could locate it before it's actually activated? That's what I'm, I suppose, putting out there. But that's not going to come into it here because it's going to be our F-16s that are going to do the locating, which they have an RWR rating of C, which means they need to be within 8 hexes, which also means that when we reach 8 hexes, before we carry out that location attempt, SAM location attempt, that we're going to find out we're going to activate the SAM. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I don't know, from that, okay. But I think from that, I think I could still carry on playing, knowing what I need to do here. There's some bits confusing me here, and I think it's because what DBD is trying to do, and I mean, don't get me wrong, it's trying to do a good thing. It's trying to put some fog of war into the solo system, because, well, there's some other comments coming up that is where some of my confusions come from, I guess. Anyway, I'll carry on. Well, hang on. Let me skip by his comment. He talks about the front, but he's obviously got these timestamps. So let me skip by that one just now and we'll come back to that. Right, so this is at the 56-minute, 20-second mark. Again, John carrying on. A SAM worn marker represents a SAM radar or dummy radar. In the two-player game, a SAM worn marker can in fact acquire a flight just as the actual SAM can. So yeah, this was probably more important, but so, and yeah, because like I say, looking back on my scenario too, actually, while this is like showing this, okay, we've got the SAM unit underneath it, we actually acquire, and nobody's pulled me up about doing that wrong. I think I got all that right, which again comes back to the fact that can we not attempt an acquire on this flight? However, okay, I'm reading on with this. So let me read that again. A SAM worn marker represents a SAM radar or dummy radar. In the two-player game, a SAM worn marker can in fact acquire a flight just as the actual SAM can in a two-player game. So, but he carries on. But as Howard says in his comment, that doesn't make sense for the solo game, especially since in non-DBD solo scenarios usually have a mix of types in each zone. glad to get confirmation via her that I was doing things right, because I wasn't completely sure. I was sure enough for some reason to not post a question on BGG. Sam Warmarker represents the Sam Radar. The super game, a Sam Warmarker can in fact acquire a flight, just as the actual Sam can. But as Howard says in his comment, that doesn't make sense for the solo game. I'm not really grasping that. Yeah, I'm not really. I still don't know from any of that if this could acquire this, if it could attempt to acquire. I'm guessing no, but I'm not getting it, guys. I'm not clearly seeing it. Like I say, Howard says they've got to be activated first. John says by the letter rules you can locate any SAM, a SAM on a marker, and one of the incidents is when you successfully locate the SAM during the SAM location phase. Sorry, no, I'm talking location and then acquisition there. Right, I'm getting muddled up myself there. I'm talking about two different things. Yeah, but it does make me wonder. I mean, could I locate that if I had the range? Or do I need to wait on activation? According to Howard, it says you activate it first, but I don't know. I just feel like the way John's wording it, that you could do it in the SAM location phase if I had the range, even if it was activated or not. I don't think it's going to matter, like I say, because of that 8 range thing. And then the other one about acquisition. Well, he's saying it doesn't make sense for the solo game. I'm not getting that. I still don't know if these can acquire. If this could attempt to acquire that flight, I don't know. You're not making it clear enough for me, guys. Sorry. It's maybe just me. I'm not. Right. What Howard's follow-up comment after that was, this is where he starts talking about dummies. So dummy SAMs and 2-player are not the same as dummy SAMs solo. Right, okay, that's not a good start. And solo, it allows you to create a fog of war by putting down a bunch of warning markers and randomly rolling for which one is real, just the same as dummy flights. Okay, I understand that. Same as we've got a dummy flight, 2 dummy flights within the 6 flights we've got at the moment. In fact, is it 3 dummy flights? We've got 3 dummy flights. When we go to activate them, we'll find out if one of them is a dummy. And that's exactly the same with these. When we go to activate these, we'll find out if one of them is a dummy. So, okay, I understand that. So, it means the scenarios are replayable as well, and will be slightly different each time you play. Fair enough, okay, I'm all for that. In 2-player, the dummy SAMs are another layer of deception. Okay, well, we're not playing 2-player, so okay. You turn them on when you want to, and they act like a real SAM. So this is him explaining the 2-player side, and some of the stuff I've been reading. Okay, so you turn them on when you want to, and they act like a real SAM in order to make you expend your ammo on them. Okay, because we're firing at them, then we find out that it's just a dummy, we've wasted our ammo. This is not the same as solo. If it's a dummy SAM, on the activation roll in solo, you just remove the dummy. Okay, I'm getting that, I'm clear with that. That's good. And I suppose the way you started off talking about them being different, fair enough, Howard. It was starting to worry me there. But I've read through your comments 2 or 3 times to try and grasp them. It's just reading them here while we've got things on show here, just to sort of try and understand. So I get that. So I think the 2 things I'm left unsure about, right, is if this was my EF111, right, which has got an RWR range of 12, okay, right now, could it attempt to locate this SAM here? Assuming that's within 12. I think it maybe is. Well, let's just say it's within 12. Could it attempt to locate that? Or does this need to be activated first? And with that, that then means that our flight has got to be within 8 to activate it to find out if it's a dummy. Because, I mean, yeah, we could locate this, but it might end up being a dummy, and we can't do that until we activate it. So my guess there is that we cannot attempt location until we have activated. And that's, I guess that's what Howard's comment was right from the start. Right, what's happened there? Was activate first. Yes, activate first. But and then the second one that I'm just not, again, 100% sure is, can these attempt to acquire? Yeah, could that attempt to acquire? It's within 14 hex range, could that attempt to acquire? So I'm also going to stick by what I've recorded already and say no. And the main reason being, this has already been uploaded, part 4, and I didn't do the acquire. And none of the guys have said, you know, right, you should do an acquire. It's just, I'm still, yeah, I think I've got it now. I do think I've got it, but yeah, where's it where John talks about the acquire then? Yeah, but in fact, he's talking about the 2-player game and he's talking about acquire. So maybe I have spoke wrongly about you being. I think it's more about the location. It feels like Howard's saying no, you need to wait until they've activated before you can locate. And it sounds like John's maybe saying a player flight successfully locates the SAM during the SAM location phase. And I don't think John spoke about actually having it to be active yet. But I'm going to assume that's the case then. Right? So they need to be activated before we can locate them. And we're going to go with the fact that they need to be activated before they can acquire. Right? Have I got that right? If that's right, then everyone's fine in the world. Yeah, well, it's not, but okay, right. Let's go with that for now. Yes. Right. Okay, we're gonna stick with that plan just now, and see if the guys come back with anything different. And sorry if I'm getting frustrated with this. I don't know. Part of me was in that scenario too. We had these. There was the exact same SAMs, the SA11s, and we stacked them underneath of these. And then we were able to acquire. We were also able to try and locate it because it was. I want to say it was unlocated, wasn't it? And I'm assuming these are unlocated, although I wish I had said that in the rules, because for scenario 2 it said one was, the infrared SAMs were located, which, okay, they have to be, but the other one was unlocated. It didn't really say that in this, and maybe that might have helped me a little bit, I don't know. But I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to say, create this fog of war, I know, but it's just difficult to get my head round. Okay, right, enough of that then. And we'll just try and move on. If we get it wrong, we get told you're getting it wrong, and that's that. And we go back and we fix it, or we try it again. Okay. Right, John, a couple other comments John made, talking about the front, because this is another thing I was getting a bit frustrated with. It comes down and around. And I figured that this must be the front, and then it goes up there like that, and then all that area in there is Warsaw Pact front. It was when these markers are facing along that way that was confusing me a little bit. And then, so he says you're getting where the front markers and front line are correct. So that is, the front comes around, goes along there, and it goes up there, right? He says, I usually point my front markers at the next front marker in the line. Helps me remember how the front is turning. So what he means by that, I think, is he would turn that with the arrow pointing down to his next front marker. Okay? But the bit that was throwing me was the arrow was going that way and it had the 5 and you had to count 5 hexes. But like John says, it's 5 hexes from that line. It could be from this hex. 5 in. That's what it is, it counts. He says, but you could certainly turn the arrows to whatever way makes most sense to you. If you want to point towards Warsaw Pact territory, by all means turn those last couple markers around arrows to face northward. Well, that's good, and the great thing about that is I'm getting it right. I was understanding it right. So the front line is here, and we count 5 hexes in from there to get our, what is it, inherent... Oh, I've got the page open of that. That's creepy. Inherent AA infrared SAM zones is within 5 of these, the first 5 hexes going on. So that's fine. I can weave them that way. And now I know that that's what it is. So the front comes along, goes round, and goes on. He carries on. Since I don't usually have the dedicated table space, I most often play using Vassal, so I have as many front 5 or front 7 markers as I need one. Though I don't go as far as putting one in each and every front line hex, I will split a longer section with an extra front marker. So what he's meaning, maybe this section between here and here, you would have another marker in there, which you would. If you're doing it on Vassal, it's easier to do, isn't it? So good enough. Okay, so I think we've got the front sorted as well, so that's good. And then his last comment was, and I understand this, John, I was thinking of the F-16s here. Just to be clear, attacks against non-runway targets are not permitted with anti-runway bombs like the Durandal. Any suppression would have to come from your SEAD flights. Wasn't sure if you were talking about them or SLAM doing the suppression. No, I wasn't. I was talking about the F-16s. So figured I would make sure you were aware of the capabilities of anti-runway ordnance. Yeah, and he's talking about me. I was talking about trying to suppress this. This is a bombing target. Well, what he's saying is our bombs can't target the AAA barrage zone and try and suppress that. The bombs are only useful for the actual runway, which is fine. Yeah, I'm thinking about the F-16s coming and trying to do something about that, because we do have to drop to low altitude and we're going to get shot at going through here. So if we can suppress that, and that's right. Now, you know what I want to say, it was from the previous post they commented. Hang on. Yeah, so, and I meant previous part. I don't think I went through these comments. I briefly maybe mentioned some of them because they came in, I think, when I was recording the last part. I might have spoke about a couple of them. He says, you can suppress AA barrage zones like the ones around airfields, and you can suppress/destroy a mobile AA. The ones you cannot suppress are the organic small arms AA inherent to ground units. Organic mobile AA can be suppressed or destroyed, and the organic light AAA inherent to SAM units. Okay, yeah, so if you go over the top of the SAM unit, yeah. So we can suppress this. This is it's an AA barrage zone, like the ones around airfields. It's a concentration, isn't it? That was classed as an AA concentration. So we can do something about that. So I think that should be one of our targets in particular, and not worry so much about these, because we can, I think, fly over the top of this, and these we could probably fly over the top of that. This could also be a consideration, but I think I'd worked out that if I come up here and bomb, I might well be able to turn back and around. But then if I go in there, I'm going to get shot by that. And if I go through that Sam Warren marker, I'm going to get shot. Well, a bit of luck, that may be the dummy then. We'll have a path round. As long as we don't stray more than two hexes from our flight path, then we would be okay and maybe be able to avoid that. But possibly that might be worth considering as a target as well. Okay, just quickly looking at yeah, you know what, I'm going to leave these comments. I'll hopefully get around to making some replies to these, John. Remember those flat markers represent potential 2K22. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, just just glancing back at the first comment at Howard's from part 3, this is. No need to locate. I've read through these before, I'm pretty sure. No need to locate the SA-13s. Once they're activated, they are instantly located, basically because they are firing at you from visual range, and you can see where it's launched from. What if I'm at high altitude then? Because that's my plan. What happens there? I mean, if I'm within 2 hexes and at high altitude, I can activate them, but they can't fire because I'm out of range, altitude-wise. Alright, well, I don't know, but then they wouldn't fire at us, so we wouldn't be able to see them. I don't know. Okay, I'll leave that one there with you. With radar SAMs, they are firing typically from a long ways off. So when a radar turns on in a cockpit, it spikes your RWR to let you know something is tracking you from a certain direction. Since you can't see it, the mechanic is that a radar warning marker is placed and you're looking for the SAM visually to locate it, hence the SAM location phase. This is why there's a modifier for SAM launch markers. Yeah, okay, I read all that before. Again, kind of makes me feel like these maybe should be in the off position until they become activated and then they switch on. But I'm wondering if the reason that they were on was to differentiate them between these. I don't know. You know what? I might be getting that wrong as well. Oh. Right. Well, I've got a better knowledge of everything now than what I did have. That's not to say I might start moving things about and say, oh, what do I do now? But we'll see. I want to just press on, and I've spent another 30 odd minutes going through things here. So, yeah, where are we actually? Did I finish the turn? I did. Yeah, we're on a new turn, aren't we? Yeah, I chose to decide that there was no acquisition, there was no location. And again, the guys never commented and said you should have done an acquisition check. So I must have it right. And well, we weren't in range to do the location check, but going by Howard's comment, activate first. So we'll stick with that. Yeah, it's for sure a challenging game. Rules wise, yeah. There's a lot of that's the other one I meant to talk about and I forgot. One of the things John said to keep in mind is deconfliction. This is on page, it's on page 27. It's under the heading of SAM Fire prerequisites. And he says he finds nothing in the player card 5 regarding the solo rules that changes this. So SAMs may not fire if an airborne friendly flight, including a dummy, is within 4 hexes of the target flight. Only a safe passage corridor would allow the SAM to fire on an enemy flight within 4 hexes of a friendly flight/dummy. This limitation does not apply to infrared SAMs. So it's just the radar SAMs, but keep that in mind that if we're close by one of their flights, it can't fly at us, and that's within... it can't fire at us, because that's within 4 hexes. There's that optional rule about changing things about where you can actually fire on your own. You can actually fire and maybe hit your own flights. So yeah, but we're not going to put that in there, I don't think. I just wanted to check the safe passage corridor. Each mayor may plot safe passage corridors during the planning phase. Yeah, well, let's just leave that one be. That's obviously something that you would need to do. And yeah, and I was saying how it is a complex game, and I think what's making it a little bit harder here is it's not just the 2-player game we're doing. We're obviously playing the solo, so some of the 2-player rules are obviously not in effect. And then on top of that, we've got Dark Blue Defection, which alters some of the ways that the solo rules play. So, and some of that is what's kind of thrown me a little bit here. Okay, right. let's push on and see how we get on. Well, it's a new turn, so we need an event. This is turn 2, so we will get an event this time. So let's go for it. 14. 14. Right. I always like to look at what ones don't apply, and you know what? 14 is one of them. Direction finding. So I'll not bother wasting time going to look at what it is. It's not going to apply. Okay. So then we have the jamming phase. Yes, we do. Okay. Well, let's get this going then. What do we do? Oh dear. Okay, so each player NATO first. Well, it's only NATO that's involved here. They don't have any jamming to do. Places or adjust standoff and or spot jamming markers. 19.32, 19.33, 90.34. 90.33 isn't going to apply because that's off map standoff jamming. So we've got 90.32, which is on map standoff jamming, and then 90.34 spot jamming, which starts with some flights with standoff jamming capability, also have spot jamming capability. We do have both, and we also have the ability to spot 2 radars as well. So we can spot jam 2 radars. Okay, so yeah. Well, it's irrelevant if this affects. I mean, we know it doesn't affect the infrared stuff. Does it affect these yet? Are these on? Are these radars on and active? I'm not so sure. I don't know. I don't think so. But we've got the IWR. But it's irrelevant anyway because this jamming thing kicks in when these go to locate or fire or what's the other one? Something else. So once they can do that and start trying to do that, they'll get negative modifiers to their attempt at doing that. That's how it's going to work. Okay, so we are doing standoff jamming. So we want this counter here. So we're hold on. Yeah, no, that's right. It's Condor as our flight. So let's look down here a bit. Condor is our Raven. Yeah. Okay. So it's going to fly down this path here. Whether this was cover or not, I don't know. And then it's going to turn back and fly. I started thinking, why didn't I just consider maybe just flying it up the way and then flying it back down, and then just pointing the radar out that way, which looks like it might have been more sensible because we're only going to be able to get so far and then have to turn around. I guess it's just because it was down here, but there was nothing stopping me, I don't think, just flying it north and then just pointing the radar out that way. But however, we've done it this way, so we'll learn from these mistakes. So I'm going to put the standoff jamming. So he's facing that way. So I think I want to put it facing the hex side there. Would that be right? So that would go 60 degrees it would go up go up there. I wish I could find that wee gadget I had with the laser thing. That was good. That would have been great here, I think. And then it goes along there. So that's pretty much picking up these. Well, that's picking up everything except these 2, I think. And obviously, as this flight moves, though, it might start losing these. So, but well, this one's an infrared one. It might start losing that one. But anyway, so I think that's where I'm going to put that. So what can I spot jam then? Well, like we've already said, so I think that goes in there. And what I'm now meant to do, I think, is there's wee markers with strengths. I've picked up 2. Oh no, that's right. Yeah, it's got jam and strengths here. And I think you're meant to put these on any targets that would be affected right now by our standoff jamming. I don't know if this, how relevant this part is. Is it not just, could you not just leave them off and then work it out when the specific thing went to try and do its thing, and then just say, okay, well that's got, I mean, I don't know. I think we're under the we're going by the fact that none of these are, well, these are infrared, like I said. None of these are all, well, they say these are inactive, and we're going to assume that these aren't on yet either, right? So I don't think any of that can be affected. However, the one thing that can be affected is the EWR. So if we're pointing out to that, now the EWR thing, and we've got a range, well, what is the range there? Right, so the range is 19. So yeah, we looked at this already, I think. And then on the actual flight, you'll see that it's the middle number, the 2 strength goes up to 32 hexes. We would need to be within 16 to do the 3 hexes. So that, I think, tells me we've got a strength of 2 on that. So, and with that, I think maybe you're meant to put, right, I would just put it at the side with the 2 facing up to say that we've got a strength of 2 jamming that EWR. I'll leave that there, but you can see that if all these were active and these were sorry, let me zoom back out again to show you all that, right? If all these flak were active and these SAMs were active, then you'd have these markers all over them as well. And I don't know if that's just cluttering things up is that really necessary? I mean, tell me if it is. But when come the time that I want to, that the Warsaw Pact want to use that EWR, can't we just say, right, is that getting jammed? Yeah, it's in the standoff jamming range. What? How many hexes? I mean, I suppose it tells you right there it's a 2. Why not put the markers on it, Grant? Yeah. Right, and the other one regarding this, John mentioned, he brought up the point about that illustration, that example about the fact you would only get half the strength if the SAM was trying to target something that wasn't in your cone, your arc. It wasn't in the jamming arc. I talked about that, didn't I? It was like, so, but my guess here is, John, that this EWR, oh well, no, actually, that can affect it, can it? So if this EWR, for instance, is wanting to try and detect that flight there, down there, then at 60 degrees would come out something like that and like that. So that cone going out there would not be in, it wouldn't be in the standoff jamming arc, would it? It wouldn't be. Look, if he was trying to detect these down here, then yes, it would be a 60 degree arc down into there, and it would cover the standoff jamming, so it would get the full strength. But I think it would only get half strength if it was going out to try and detect this one or this one or this one for that matter, I think. Right? Okay, let's go with that for now. And my guess is that I'm maybe going to get some of these things wrong. So I think that goes on there. I'm just going to leave that. I'm not going to read through. I've read through the rules of that. However, spot jamming. In the jamming phase, flights with spot jamming capability that are tasked with either standoff jamming or escort may also place spot jamming markers on EWR, SAM or radar equipped AAs. So we've only got one thing that we can do. So I'm going to do the spot jamming on that. I'll put that at the side as well. I don't like covering them up. I mean, I've put that on this because it needs to be on top of the flight to show where it's looking. So I think I've got to do that. So I think we could spot jam 2 things, but there's only one thing we can do. So I'm going to spot jam that. So does that mean I change that number now? is double the normal standoff jamming strength at range. Calculate the strength in the same manner as in 19.31. Yeah. Including any out of jamming arc effects, then double it, rounding up. See, right, I want to say that we've spot jammed that, so now our full strength on that at the range we've got is going to be 4. But if that comes from there to there, we're going to have to half that then. Is that how I should do it? Should I leave that on as a 4? And then if that goes, when it makes an EWR attempt on that, we're going to half that. It's going to be 2. When it makes an EWR attempt on one of the flights down here beside our standoff jamming, it's going to stay at 4 strength. Okay, I'm going to leave that just like that. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to go more into that. And because the guys will let me know. Okay. Right, so I think that's jamming phase over. Yeah. So let's go detection phase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Nothing at deck. I can see nothing at all at deck. Oh yeah, well we might actually see there's an operation now, yeah. Okay. So Warsaw Pact are on the C column. So they need a 12 or greater to detect any air flights. Okay. So what we've got Saint here, right? So it's a 12 or greater. And this is just the standard detection attempt. 7. So, okay, that EWR might get a shot of that then. So that he's staying undetected. We've got Silver Fox and Cobra are detected already. We've got 2 more flights. We've got Slam and... Okay, so Condor is undetected. So we roll on the C column for him. 11, so he's missed that as well. Yeah. So that's interesting then, because we're going to see both attempts at that then. So yeah, I know I done it the last time I went right through but I think I'll do the standard detection for the Warsaw Pact flights now as well. Or is that silly? Maybe I should. Oh, it doesn't matter. Right, up the top, we've got A and B up the top. We are rolling on the D column, so we need a 13. So let's go for A. 9, 12. So we miss A. B. 4, so nothing doing there. Let's C and D. So C is already detected. D. Rolled poorly again, rolled a 6, and finally flight F, need a 13. No, terrible again, 6 again. So that's us done with the standard detection, and I'm just going to go through them as it's got on the sequence of play here, keep it easy. Visual, is there any visual? That's within 4 hexes, isn't it? So no. Radar search, right. So who have you got? We've got F-16s and F-15s. They can't do it because they're still generic. Right, okay, so they can't do any of this, but we can. To be honest, it's only Cobra anyway. It needs to be within 20 hexes. He's clearly going to be able to have a shot at flight F, I think. But I think that'll be it. Well, that's not true. He can actually reach... He can actually reach this guy, flight D. I just want to double check. I don't think... Well, radar, it's just line of sight. Line of sight, isn't it? 10.22... It doesn't need to be front arc or anything like that, I don't think. Oh, it does. For each enemy fight within range and the forward arc of a non-disordered. Right, let me look. Yeah, it's still easy when it's front arc. From I think the further away, the bigger the arc is, isn't it? It's like, so it's out like that and that. So yeah, so we will get a shot at D and F. So let's try D first. Remember, he's got IRST. Is IRST? Oh, I'm making something up there. The one that lets you roll again. Wait, we'll just start the background. No, it's not IRST. What is IRST stand? That's something in the game, isn't it? Infrared. I don't know, I'm making things up. I'm gonna have to go and look what that was. Infrared search and track. Is that not? That's yeah, that's a different thing. In fact, is that not one of the ones the Soviets, the Warsaw Pact have? Yeah, both their fights have that. Right, we'll maybe get to that. No, track well scan. That's what I was thinking about. Track well scan. So on the radar chart on the detection chart for the F-15, we only need a 10. However, we are we're getting the -1 for being greater than 20 hexes away to that one, definitely. Targeting different altitude band. Yeah, I forgot there's some modifiers here now. Well, Cobra's at high. No, he's at low. So yeah, it's just a -1 if he's at different altitude band. So there's a -2 there. Target deck, no target deck. Searching flight and beam arc of target. No, he's in his front arc. So no. So we've got a -2 to this, but we only needed a 10 to start with. So I've rolled 11. That takes it down to 9. That's not good enough. But I'll do my track well scan. What was it? Yeah, it was that, wasn't it? I'm confused by my words now. Yeah, track well scan, right. So I get another shot of this. 15, that's better. 15 -2 is 13. So we get flight D after all. Okay. And then the other flight, F, I think that'll be within 20, so I don't think we'll get that -1 for that one. Yeah, only 18 hexes away, so this will just be altitude. Yeah, there is a different altitude as well. There at medium, we're at high. Now, however, Grant, is he not in your... Yeah, he is going to be in the beam, isn't he? Yes. I think he is. His forward arc comes along that hex side. Well, it splits it. It splits it in the middle. So if it splits it, and if it's us that are that's the target flight. It's us that decides what side it's in. So we're going to say it's in our front arc and not get that modifier. I think that's right. Okay, so there's just the -1 for the altitude difference. Yeah, okay. So we need a 10, but with a -1. I've rolled 5, that's rubbish. So we'll travel scan, do it again. Oh, that's rubbish as well, 5. Okay, so he stays okay. And let's say they can't do any radar searches because they're still just generic flights. Right, moving on. Standard visual radar search. Right, and the last one, EWR. Okay, we'll get to see this and hope that we have it right. So this can stretch, well, how many hexes? It's true. I don't know. I'm going to have to look it up. 10.25. Right, give me a sec. Yeah, 10.25. DWR will provide an additional detection check on the B column with appropriate modifiers for any aircraft within 20 hexes of DWR or 10 hexes if on deck. Well, nothing's on deck, so anything within 20 hexes. It doesn't say anything about what it needs to be. My guess is we don't, yeah, because this isn't. But, well, I hope I'm right in thinking that. Let's look at, what was that, Saint first, right? So he's 1, 2, 3, well, is it within 20? Might not be, actually. Yeah, so 17 hexes. So he's going to make an attempt on the B column, which is really good. He only needs a base of 10 to start with. Right. And, like, well, one of the modifiers, obviously, is the standoff spot jamming. Maximum of 6 only applies to EWR searches. Well, we've got a strength of 4 on it, so that's a -4 to this die roll for him to check that. However, and I'm just gonna go with it this way, and I'll get told if I've got this wrong. That although the example in the book is talking about a SAM trying to detect, trying to acquire a flight, I think this is the same. So this EWR is going to go look at this. So it's got a 60-degree arc from this hex, and it's got to cover that. So if it goes along like that and it goes, the thing is that is going to take into that, isn't it? Well, can it not do it in a way that it avoids it? If it came down, yeah, see, it could come down, it could start at 60 degrees from there, coming out on the hex side, and then go up that way. That would cover the flight, but it wouldn't go through this. So what I'm going to say is, he's going to do that. I'm assuming as a solo player, as a solo for the bot, you're just going to make it more beneficial for the bot. So that's then going to half that strength to 2. Okay, so I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go with it rather than stop and look for answers and that. And if I've got it wrong, I've got it wrong, and we can try and fix it. And if not, well, then we'll learn that we've got it wrong. So I'm going to say that it's not a 4, that's a 2, because it's not in the arc of the... It's not covering... Yeah, it's difficult. Just look at that example on page 38. That illustration. That's the one that tells me that it gets half its strength. Okay, so it's going to be a -2 die roll to this. And... what did I say we had? We needed a 10. So with a -2. So he's rolled 10. So there you go. That, because of that jamming, we are not going to detect that flight. Whereas if we didn't have any jamming on that would have got spotted. So good stuff. Right. And then this one, it cannot, it's maybe out of range though. No, it can't be out of range, because we already said that it's 19 hexes from there to there, so that means it's within 20 from here to here. So this is now going to attempt to detect, what is it? The Raven flight, Condor. So, however, this time it's got to create a 60-degree arc down that way, and that is going to cover, well, it's the actual flight that's doing the jamming that it's trying to detect, isn't it? So it will offer the full 4 strength this time. So on the B column this time, minus the full 4 this time, he's only rolled 7. So 7 minus 4 is only 3, so no detection there. So that's my take on that. Let me know, guys, if I've got any of that wrong, please. And yeah, it felt like that was okay, but we shall see. Right, so I think we're complete with detection now. So now into the movement phase. Okay, let's get a bit done. I know that's me almost at an hour, but I'd like to move something and at least have something a bit more. I think again I spent 30 odd minutes or so. Right, anyway, Grant. So we're rolling for initiative, 1 to 6, it's NATO. Rolled 9, so it's Warsaw Pact, gain the initiative to start with here. So we shall draw a chit. We get a 4 on the large side. So it's a 2 on the small side. So we're going to get to activate 2 of their flights. We get play route card 5 out. I'm going to roll the dice to find out what's what. So just one dice, Grant. So this is to find what suit we're looking for. We've got 2 activations. Rolled a 9. That is diamonds. So diamond there. F flight is a heart. I want to say these are maybe diamonds, aren't they? Yeah, that A flight's a diamond and B flight's a diamond. Yeah. So it's going to be A flight and B flight actually. Because it goes in alphabetical order. And yeah, they're probably not going to do an awful lot. They're not within 7. That's the big A, really. If they're not within 7, then just move on, really. So again, fish bed, queen profile. They're at high altitude. Flight A is at high altitude, so he's got a movement of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then flight B is just going to do the same, innit? Yeah. And they're going 1, 2, and they've got a third waypoint further down, yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just staying together, staying at high altitude, and I'll mark them finished. Okay, there we go. So that's their 2 flights moved. I'll chuck that back in the cup, and we'll draw another chip. Over to us this time. Oh, maybe drawing the same chit. It's 4 in the large, 2 in the small. Yeah, might well have been. Okay. Okay, I was just having a think about what I might want to do. I think I'm going to move Saint Flight. He's at medium altitude, has a speed of 4. I can round a little bit. And I think I can just get 1, 2, 3, 4. I can get them in between these 2, and it would trigger both of these. Or is it? Or was it within 2 hexes then? I can't remember now. Well, I think it was just 1 for the AA. Yeah, it is within 1. But pretty sure that if I put it on the hex side here, on the spine, then we can say that we're on. No, can you do that, Grant? I can't really say I'm within that hex and then I'm within that hex to like roll on both of them, can I? I don't know. But you can't have it both ways, surely, Grant. Well, why don't I just fly right through the middle though? Because I could. What I could get 6 speed actually. 6 speed. Now, hold on. Remember the F-16s are... yeah, they're way done. So I'm looking at the wrong bit right away. So, yeah, because I already had to reset these, didn't I? So we are actually... Yeah, we can only move at 5 because of what we're carrying as well. That John tried to remind me of that one. So we are at medium. In actual fact, I need to dash to get to 5 speed. 1, 2, 3... 5. I think I'll do this. I don't need to climb to high altitude until the next turn, because like I've said, I think I can avoid these. Well, we'll find out. So, okay, I'm going to dash him again then. I know these don't have an awful lot of fuel, but... So I'm dashing, saying a medium altitude, he's laid in, so he's got a speed of 5. And I'm going to move 1. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, I think. 1, 2, 3. Let's move that down a little bit. Then 3 30-degree turn. That's 3. And then 4, 5. Put that back. So staying at medium altitude, which is fine for the 2K22s. That's the other thing. Would I not want to maybe... I don't think I want to have a shot at them, really. I just want to detect them. Just want to, like, activate them and find out what's there. So... yeah, I think that's okay. So that's just move 5. We're actually going to be done there. But we are within 1 of both of the inactive flags. So roll for activation when a player flight is within 1 hex. Do not apply any modifiers to the roll. Once activated, set up a 2K22 located radar on in place of the light AAA marker as shown on the scenario setup card. Yeah, okay. So 1 to 5 it's real. 6 to 10 it's a dummy. Well, no, that doesn't really matter, Grant. 1 to 5 it's real. So I'm going to do the top one first. 1 to 5 it's going to be real. That's 9. So that is a dummy. Yeah, I'm not so sure I did want that one to be. That's what I was starting to think. Ah, well, does it matter? Right, so that's a dummy, that goes away. We have 2 dummies though, so we have potential for this to be as well. So I'm going to roll again for the other one then. 1 to 5, it's real. That's a 2. So this one is real. So I'm going to take a 2K22 off the what was it called? Scenario setup card. Put that in there. And that is on and ready to go. Now, well, in actual fact, it wouldn't actually fire at me now because I've not moved, but because we're at medium altitude, we're out of range of them. Because we planned that carefully, didn't we? Okay, card 1, I've lost it. It's down the bottom there. Yeah, 2K22s will fire at deck and low altitude. So that's fine. I'm pretty sure we can avoid all day ones, really. Yeah, to be honest, we'd kind of like that one to be a dummy, wouldn't we? Maybe that's where he should fly into next. Oops. Okay. So he dashed. Yeah, that's fine. So my initiative was 2, so I do have one more flight to move. Yeah, I think I'm going to move my other F-16 actually, because they need to get in amongst things here. It's really up to them. Well, I suppose Cobra could go over there pretty... Yeah, that's true, Grant. Cobra's at high altitude as well. Why not get him over there to find out? Well, I'm going to be moving all this turn. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. Right, I'll just move Silver Fox in, my F-16. So he's at medium altitude, laid in, so we would have a normal speed of 3. Yeah, their fuel's not good, is it? But are we not as well dashing just now? Because they're eventually going to become clean flights once we get rid of our missiles. And I need to get ahead of my bombers, which are pretty quick as well. I'm going to probably have to try and slow them down a little bit. So, okay, let's dash again then. So he's going to be laid in. He's going to have a speed of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think 5. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm bothering now, though. That the fact that I'm going to go over the top of these. Well, that's not a bad way to come in. I mean, we're looking at these. These are our targets here at the back. Well, and the front as well. And we've got Saint up there. We've got Silver Fox down there. That's fine. So, okay, so that's me with 5, staying at medium altitude, at dash. He's done. Okay, right, initiative back in the cup. Right, but I think I'm at an hour and 10 minutes, and I know, again, well, probably quite a lot of gameplay compared to the last couple of videos. So, yeah, no, still not an awful lot. But I think I'm getting to grips with things, but sorry if I got frustrated with what I felt some of your comments might be not really kind of clearing things up for me. But it's a tricky thing to explain as well. And like I've just said, it's a complex game that we are trying to play solo, making it more complex. And we're playing with an expansion as well, which is going to alter things as well. So there's more complexity in that as well. So I think I've got it, guys. I think you've got me steered the right way, and I'm sure if there's still some things that I've not quite grasping, the jamming part coming into it now there as well. Well, we've just activated a 2K22, so I think that all went okay. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll keep our fingers crossed, and no doubt you'll let me know. Right, I'll cut this just now. I'm probably going to have a chance to just copy this across and get another wee bit started, I think. So let's hope that happens. If not, I'll be back when I'm back. Okay, cheers.